Hey guys, John here, learningguitarnow.com, and in this lesson I'm going to show you how to play a Clapton Running On Faith style solo. It's kind of similar to something he would play off 24 Nights, which is one of my all-time favorite albums that I listened to when I was learning blues guitar. I just played that thing over and over and over again, wore it out, and try to learn as many licks as I could from that. That was one of my favorite performances at 24 Nights, the double CD, if you ever remember owning that. It was just a killer album all the way through, and that was one of my favorite solos. So this lesson is in the style of that. Try to mimic some of his licks and his solo phrases in this solo. So I think you'll learn a lot from it about playing Clapton's style from analyzing a tune like this. We'll go ahead and take a look at the first couple licks for free. And if you would like access to the full lesson, the interactive tab, and the backing track, check out the All Access Pass. Okay, let's go ahead and start the lesson. Okay, now I'm going to break this solo down for you into 9 separate licks. We're playing in the key of G, and the chord progression that we're playing over is this, just a G, F to C vamp. You got G for 2 beats, 1, 2, F 2 beats, 3, 4, C 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. That's the jam at the end of this tune. That sounds really cool. Lots of bands will do stuff like that. Have just your 1 flat 7 chord and then 4 chord. It's just a really common chord progression that you're here on tons of blues rock stuff. So Clapton plays some really cool stuff over something like this. And basically, you're just blending the major pentatonic and minor pentatonic scales together over this. So for the tone, I'm using an Andrew Spectraverb 40 with a Friedman Dirty Shirley, using the middle pickup on the Strat here. Okay, lick 1 sounds like this. Okay, so that is lick number 1, and it's got a lot of attitude. Pretty much the whole solo is a high dynamic solo. I'm not building up anything. If you listen to Clapton's performance on like 24 Nights or something, it's just playing very intensely the whole time, and just adding a lot of drama to it. So I got my volume of the guitar on 10, all the tones on 10, middle pickup position. I feel like he used that a lot, had this type of a tone. So I think he had pretty much that Soldano head back then. It's a more rockin' sound, so I got the Friedman Dirty Shirley turned up pretty good, so I get a lot of gain. Get that type of tone going. I feel like he used that middle pickup selector a lot. Some of that stuff that Clapton does on the 24 Night style. Some of my favorite stuff. Anyway, lick 1 starting in the B.B. King position, the key of G. Our root note G is here on the B string with our first finger on the 8th fret. So I'm gonna put my 3rd finger on the 10th fret here on the B string. Little B.B. King little position, and over a chord progression like this, B.B. King sounds great because you can easily switch from major to minor just by changing a couple notes. So I bent up 10th fret on the B string, and I'm gonna let that ring out for 2 counts. 1, 2, and when that F chord hits, I'm gonna strike this. So pretty simple lick. You just got to get the phrasing down and the attitude. So I let this hang for 2 beats. 1, 2. You can add a rake to this. Bring it down. 10, 8 on the B, 9 on the G string, 10 on the B, 9 on the G, 8, 10 on the B. Now I'm going to do a pre-bend. Now release down. You hear Clapton do that a ton. Just that pre-bend and pull down and release instantly. Pull off the 8th fret. Now 9 on the G, 10 on the B, 9 on the G, and then strike 8th fret twice. That's our root note, and then heavy Clapton style vibrato. So a lot of cool things that you can do. It's pretty basic little position. You just got to play it with a lot of attitude. Heavy vibrato on that last couple notes. For more about the Clapton style vibrato, please check out my Play Like Clapton course. Okay, so that is it for lick 1. Okay, lick 2 sounds like this. Okay, so for lick number 2, now I'm switching to the minor pentatonic. And so you don't have to switch from minor pentatonic, major pentatonic over each chord, because this is more of a vamp style playing. You could do something like that, but what Clapton is doing is just switching for a longer period of time for each just like vamp section. So for the first entire G, F to C, it was pretty much a major pentatonic. Now I'm going to switch to minor pentatonic for the entire G, F to C. So you don't have to play like G major over the G chord, F major over that. You don't really have to follow the chords. You could do that, but you won't be playing in the style of Eric Clapton. It'd be something different, more jazzier style. So for lick 2, moving into the 4th position, minor pentatonic, I have numerous lessons talking about how to use 4th position minor pentatonic, including a podcast 64, I believe I just put out. So I'm going to slide to 10 to 12. That's our root note right here, 12th fret of the G string. You always have to know where your root note is. B.B. King position, root note, first finger on the 8th fret of the B string. In the 4th position, minor pentatonic, our 12th fret here on the G string. Slide from 10 to 12. Now I got 11 here on the B string. Back 11, 12, 11, 13 on the B. And I'm going to bend up twice. I go vibrato that you slide into it the first time from 10. Now vibrato, heavily Clapton style vibrato, 12th fret. Now bend that thing up twice, but only strike it once. Let it hang. And then now we're going to rake and just do that simple little lick. That's bending up 13th fret on the B string. 11, 12, 11, bend up 13. So you'll notice that's the same little note pattern as like the Albert King, you know. It's like right here, the 2nd position minor pentatonic. So you just need to understand, the same lick. You can play it all over the place. That's one way to start opening up the fretboard, just learn the same lick all over the place. So we've done this. Let that hang. The next bar is going to come around, and you're going to take your pinky, strike that, put your pinky on 13th fret of the high E string. So you got, that's the next phrase. So you have the start up phrase. We're going to bend up that 13, pull it down, release to 11th fret on the B string. Now 12 to 13 on the B, back to 12, 11 on the B, and then slide downwards. So lick 2's got some really cool things in it. It's classic Clapton 4th position minor pentatonic. So you see the bends are sometimes very gradual. On the first bend I did, just let it hang, no vibrato. Now gradually bend this one up. Then I'm going to hit that 13th fret on the high E. And so that's how lick 2 goes. But some really cool things happening right there in the 4th position minor pentatonic scale. Okay, lick 3 sounds like this. Okay, so that is lick number 3. Now we're moving into the 1st position minor pentatonic scale, like this. Except we're just playing it up an octave here, 15th, 18th fret. So I slid to the 17th fret of the G string, and then bar your first finger on the 15th fret of the B in the high E. Strike those back and forth. Now we're gonna bend up 17th fret on the high E string, and we're just gonna bend it to that minor 3rd here, so 1 fret. Bend 17 to the 18th fret sound. Let that hang for 2 counts. So you got 1, 1, 2. Now go into the run. So 2 counts on this bend. This is actually from the major pentatonic scale, but you could also think of it as the minor pentatonic scale because you're bending to the minor 3rd here, the note contained in the minor pentatonic scale. It's really just blending major and minor. That 17 and 18, you can use that over any type of blues pretty much. And just gradually bend that thing. And then straight down the minor pentatonic after you do this. 15 on the high E, 18 on the B, and then 15, 18, 15 on the B. Now you got this Albert King, Stevie Ray Vaughan style lick. So you bend 18th fret on the high E up. Now you're gonna bend it again, but only bend it just a tad. And so you got 15, 18, and then 18, 15, 18, 15. Heavy vibrato on that high E string, Clapton style. So it's just a little bit different sounding when you play it like Clapton other than like Stevie Ray Vaughan. So pretty melodic kind of a lick. Yeah, also we're using high dynamic, so make sure you strike these phrases pretty hard. We're not just playing. We're not playing it like that. You gotta put some attitude in it. 2. Play it like you mean it. Okay, so that is it for lick number 3. Okay, well that does it for this lesson. Like I mentioned previously, if you would like access to the full lesson, interactive tab, and backing track, please check out the All Access Pass. There's nearly 60 courses on learning how to play blues guitar and slide guitar in the All Access Pass. A lot of different podcast lessons. There's just a wealth of information to help you play blues and slide guitar in the style of Eric Clapton, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, Duane Allman, this type of blues and slide guitar style. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.